Hello, welcome back. Today I'm going to make a beautiful fall leaf card, even though it's spring. I just haven't used these supplies yet and figured I'd pull them out. So I've got some watercolor paper that I'm misting with water, and I'm going to emboss them with this 3D embossing folder. And then I need to let that completely dry. The water lets the image emboss better into the paper. So you definitely want to mist it ahead of time, but the drawback is you do need to wait for it to dry once you're done. You can use a heat tool or a hair dryer or whatever to dry it a little bit faster, but usually because it's only a few mists of water, it doesn't take too long. Once your embossed piece is completely dry, you're going to, or I sprayed it with some distress sprays as well as distressed oxide sprays to color it nice and quickly. And then I misted it with water over top just to help those sprays run into each other. I'll have listed in the description below the colors that I've used for each piece. The piece of paper to the right is a piece of mixed media Heavystock that I'm going to use later to die cut leaves. So what you just saw me spray onto the piece on the right was some Smooch Spritz. I used it to add a little bit of shimmer to the background, and basically only because I had a touch left in that bottle and I just wanted to use it up. You could also mix up some Perfect Pearls or use Perfect Pearls mist to add a little bit of shimmer to your background. Once you've got all the sprays how you like them, you're going to let it completely dry. You can either spray it and let it completely dry, or you can add a little bit of water and tilt it in order to help those dyes run. And then if you wanted to have it dried a little bit quicker than just sitting waiting for it to dry, you could use a heat tool or whatnot to help speed the process along. In order to add a little bit of metallic accent to my card, I'm using 3 of the colors of Foundry Wax. I chose the ones that were a little bit more fall leaf colors, and I'm adding a little bit of each color to the embossed background. Now later on, after I have my die cuts cut, you'll see me add each of these colors to the leaves as well. And I'm also going to add a little bit more to the background just to make those metallic accents pop a little bit more. Now the way to get the effect with these emboss or these waxes are you need a heat gun. So you're going to put it on, it dries quite quickly, and then you're going to use a heat gun, and that's going to bring the leafing to the surface, and it's just got such a beautiful quality to it. What I really like doing with it is just putting blobs of it along the side, and it just adds a chunk of nice leafing metallic that I love. So here you see me inking the sides of my leaf just to add a little bit of dimension to them, and then I will be adding the Foundry Wax to them as well, and I will be embossing to make that leafing come to the surface. Now, once all of your pieces are done, you're going to glue your card together. I'm just using Distress Collage Medium for this. Now, because of the texture from that 3D embossing folder, I'm going to use an acrylic block and then some jars of water that I have sitting on my desk to weight it down to help it to stay flat while it dries. Now, I didn't wait quite long enough because I was being impatient, so I decided to add these leaves to the background, and then I'm going to weigh it down once again and try to let it dry. And once again, my impatience got the best of me, so I had to do it later on at the end just to make sure it actually all dried flat. Now, the one thing I really wanted to do on these cards was have splats of the Foundry Wax, and you have to thin the Foundry Wax out with some isopropyl alcohol. Now, I haven't had any luck getting some really nice big chunks of the splatters. What I'm doing here results in some super fine splatter, which still looks absolutely beautiful. It does still need to be heated up with the heat tool in order to have that leafing come to the surface.